Human found an injured beast and saved it, not knowing it was a pet of the Baroness. The forest was quiet that evening. Too quiet. Marcus tightened his grip on his walking stick, his boots crunching softly over damp leaves. He wasn't out here for adventure. He was gathering firewood before the autumn frost crept in. But fate rarely cares for intentions. A sharp, low growl rolled through the still air. It wasn't the sound of a wolf or a bear. It was deeper, resonating in Marcus's chest like distant thunder. He froze, listening. The growl was followed by a pained whimper, and against every ounce of common sense, he stepped toward it. In a small clearing, he found it, a massive beast, unlike anything he'd seen in the hunting guides. Its fur shimmered between shades of silver and black, and two sharp horns curved back from its skull. Its eyes, golden and intelligent, locked onto his, and for a moment Marcus thought it would lunge, but then it collapsed, blood pooling beneath its flank. "Oh no, you're hurt," Marcus murmured, crouching beside it. The wound looked like a deep gash, maybe from a poacher's trap. He could feel the creature trembling, its breathing ragged. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said gently, unsure why he was speaking to it like a frightened child. He tore a strip from his shirt, pressing it to the wound to slow the bleeding. The beast flinched but didn't attack. It took Marcus the better part of an hour to clean the wound, bandage it, and coax the creature to drink from his water skin. It was far heavier than he could lift, so he made a bed of leaves and stayed with it through the night, feeding the fire to keep away predators. By morning, the beast was stronger. It stood shakily, towering over him by a full head. Marcus smiled faintly. "You're a tough one, aren't you?" He expected it to flee into the forest. Instead, it nudged his shoulder gently with its horned head, almost grateful. The next day, the sound of hooves thundered into the clearing. A squad of mounted guards appeared, their blackened silver armor glinting under the sun. At their head rode a woman whose presence made Marcus feel as though the air had grown thinner. Her hair was like a waterfall of dark silk, her cloak trimmed with white fur, and her eyes, sharp and assessing, swept the clearing. She carried herself like someone born to command armies. "By the gods!" one of the guards breathed. "It's here." The beast stepped forward, tail swishing once before trotting to the woman's side. She dismounted gracefully, dropping to one knee before the creature. Her hand skimmed over its bandaged side, and her expression softened. "You saved him." Her voice was low, smooth, but carried authority. "I found him injured," Marcus replied. "Didn't know he belonged to anyone." "He belongs to me," she said simply, stroking the beast's muzzle. "He is Varen, last of Nightfangs. A gift from my late husband and my most loyal protector. Someone tried to kill him." Marcus swallowed. "I just did what anyone would have done." The Baroness. He realized she must be a noble by the way the guard addressed her, rose to her full height. She studied him as if deciding whether he was a threat or a blessing. No, few would have approached a wounded night fawn and lived, much less tended to it. You either have courage or no sense of self-preservation. "They're both, maybe," Marcus said with a small shrug. Her lips curved into something that might have been the ghost of a smile. "What is your name, woodsman?" "Marcus." "You will come with me, Marcus," she declared. He blinked. "Pardon?" "You saved Varen's life. That earns you my debt, and my debts are not forgotten. You will stay at my estate until I have repaid you." Marcus had never set foot in a noble's estate before. The Baroness's manor rose from a hillside like a fortress carved from obsidian, guarded by stone statues of the night fawn. Inside, marble floors gleamed, chandeliers dripped crystal light, and tapestries told tales of battles long past. Servants eyed him curiously, clearly wondering why a rugged, mud-smeared woodsman had been brought in at the Baroness's side. Varen, however, seemed to have decided Marcus was a friend. The beast followed him everywhere, resting its massive head on Marcus's lap whenever he sat down. Over the days, Marcus learned the Baroness's name, Lady Alara Vathorn. She was feared by her enemies, respected by her people, and rumored to be untouchable in both politics and the dueling ring. Yet in the evenings, when the halls were quiet, Marcus sometimes caught her speaking to Varen in a tone so warm and tender it almost startled him. One night, over a quiet supper, she asked, "Why did you help him, Marcus? Most men in your position would have killed him for his horns alone. They fetch a fortune." Marcus shrugged. Didn't seem right. He was hurt. That was all that mattered. Her gaze lingered on him for a long moment. "You are an odd man, Marcus." Days turned to weeks. Marcus helped in the stables, learned to navigate the strange etiquette of the manor, and slowly earned the trust of the guards. But he also noticed shadows moving at the edges of the Baroness's lands. Strangers watching from the trioline, poison meat left near the stables. Someone wanted Varen dead, and Marcus suspected it had more to do with harming Lady Alara than the beast itself. One night, the threat came to a head. A group of masked men slipped into the estate, crossbows aimed at the sleeping Nightfang. Marcus was on watch duty that night. Without hesitation, he leapt between the intruders and the beast, knocking the first man to the ground. The fight was brutal and fast, ending only when Varen himself roared to life, scattering the attackers. When it was over, Marcus stood panting, a shallow cut bleeding on his cheek. Lady Alara arrived moments later, flanked by guards. Her eyes swept over the scene, then rested on him. "You risked your life again," she said, voice tight with emotion. "Guess I've got a habit," Marcus replied. This time, her smile was not ghostly, it was real. "Then perhaps I should find a way to keep you here." Varen pressed his head against Marcus's shoulder, golden eyes gleaming in the torchlight. And for the first time since stepping into that forest, Marcus realized he didn't want to leave.